The first thing is today we released Kevin Huber, and Kevin's been such a big part of this organization in this city for such a long time, and 216 games played here, which is a leader in the clubhouse for Bengals games played, which is just unbelievable when you think about that. And he's represented his family, his team, his city, IHM school, McNicholas High School, UC, Cincinnati Bengals. Just been a great story, and he's a great person, and so we're appreciative of the time that he gave us and the job that he did. And now it's time to move on to Drew, but Kevin had a great run here, and we appreciate that.
Clean break, no spot for having a punter on the practice squad or anything.
There's some transactions that can take place, but that's part of the conversation.
Where's Joe Mixon at with the concussion protocol?
There's a chance that he can clear it early this week.
Is there any concern when those things linger? I mean, it's just unique to the person. Like, how does that last? Like,
Really, the point that it got to was really late in the week, Saturday, as you're going through the final steps of it. And the conversation I had with him is, I'm not even going to go back to the doctors one more time. We're just going to keep you out for this game. It's a head injury. He's been doing everything he could to get through the protocols. You just get right up against game time, and ultimately that was the decision we made just to – and what I told him is there's a lot of games left to be played, and so the hope would be you look back in 3-4 weeks and you're happy that you didn't risk it one more game, even if everything checked the boxes and you're able to get through the protocol. We just said let's just do it for one more game, and then we'll get you through the protocol this week, and he seems to be on track to maybe be able to do that on Wednesday.
And I continuation that with Smaje, the way he's played the last 3 weeks, does he deserve consideration to keep the role he's had? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, I think we've got a great mixture in there, and that's a lot of how we've employed them over a lot of games this year, and they got a great relationship going all the way back to college. So it's a good mixture to have multiple guys that you believe in.
When he was limited through in the week during protocol, what is he allowed to do while he's trying to fully clear at practice?
There just hadn't been contact yet, so that's the last hurdle to clear.
Zach, I feel like I know the answer to this based off of your reaction yesterday to the win, but how do you guys avoid the letdown game that sometimes comes with teams, not just in football, but sports teams in general, after an emotional big win?
Yeah, it doesn't feel that emotional because I think we're at the point where we think we're a great team, and so yeah, it's a game against a team who's been so consistent over the last couple of years. They've been to the top year after year, and so there's consistency there, and we got a lot of respect for that. But at the same time, I think walking off the field, nobody in our locker room was surprised, and so there's not that emotional highs and lows that come with that. We're ready to move on to Cleveland. We know that's a big opportunity right in front of us, big challenge, and that's where our focus is.
Any update on Hayden Harrison?
We'll gather more information, but it's going to be doubtful for this week. Doubtful for this week, yep.
Jesse said that he came at 9:30 in the morning today on Victory Mondays to kind of get a lunch or whatever, and almost the entire team was there.
Right.
I'm curious if you saw that, and if that is something that, not that it would surprise you, but what that means to you when you hear things like that.
Yeah, that was last week too. We had the same schedule last week, and so I saw how they handled that, saw how they practiced last week, saw how they played in the game, and so again, it's a team that I know is going to operate the right way. We're in the December months, so the season's getting long. We hope that it's much longer. The routine and the consistency is so critical at this point, but I've just got a lot of trust in our guys that they know how to mentally and physically get themselves ready for Wednesday's workload that's going to come at them. And so giving them this extra time, it's not surprising. It's part of the reason why I do it. I know they're still coming in anyway. It's just not mandated meeting fashion, but that's just the type of team we have.
I might be making this up in my own head, but is there a connection for you in Victory Mondays, taking it easy, and hustle plays and the extra efforts that happen on Sunday for you? Is that part of that, creating that, or is that?
I think so. We've put in a lot of physical work dating back to training camp and leading up to the bye week, and then now it's the point where these players have put their bodies through a lot. They're going to continue to put their bodies through a lot. It's about rolling a healthy team out there on Sunday, and you can't do that if you don't trust your guys that they're going to get the sleep and the nutrition and mentally be refocused going into a week. I probably wouldn't operate this way if I didn't have that belief in the team. And it's on the older players, making sure that the younger players understand that as well and developing that consistency for guys that maybe haven't done this as much. But again, I think we're in a good spot there, which is why we've been able to be flexible with our schedule.
Going back to Hurst, what happened? It looks like his last play was that kind of that seam route.
Yeah, I'm not actually certain it was that play, but it was calf, and that was the last play that he was in there.
I guess what did he say about the calf? What kind of
I haven't talked to him directly. He's been in there getting scans and stuff, so I haven't talked to him directly. It's just come from the training department. But I don't know if it was that play or he felt it a play before that. I'm not certain on that.
And obviously missing your top two tight ends now from the start of the season. With Mitchell Wilcox, confident that he can handle kind of that increased workload now.
Mitch has done a great job, and Devin's done a great job too. So both those guys have stepped up, and really I think James has gotten a lot out of that room, next man up mentality, with Drew going down and Hayden going down, and those two guys being able to step up. And, we've got Nate on the practice squad as well. So we expect there to be limited drop-off from the next guy. Mitch has done a great job just improving week to week over his time here. And Devin, obviously, we picked up at the cut down, and he's pleased us as well. So it's a good room, and James is doing a good job making sure that those guys are ready when their number's called.
How many of those athletic plays did you see from Osai on his film at Texas when you were evaluating him before the draft?
Yeah, he's a high-effort, high-motor all the time. You see it in training camp. There's plenty of plays of him, chasing balls 40 yards down the field and colliding with other players 40 yards down the field, because he just never stops, even when the play's over. And so that's part of what makes him tick. That's great, to have a guy that can come off the sidelines like that and spell Trey and Sam and be able to give you that energy and that relentless pressure. And that's what he did on that play.
Back to the Victory Monday thing, the ripple effect there, the time that you would have spent in meetings, is that just give you a head start on prep for Cleveland? You spend it another way?
No, there's time for the coaches to get that head start on the prep. The players do a great job coming in and watching the tape and making sure they're making those corrections, and then getting their lifts in as well. So again, it's not a mandated, scheduled at this point, but the players have done a great job getting in that work.
Burrow's hit I think career high in back-to-back weeks and rushes. What's it like having him have his legs as kind of a resource for y'all as an offense?
He's been smart about when to do it, and for the most part, protecting himself. He got a little anxious there on that one where he kept breaking tackles on the busted run. He's a tough guy. He's done a great job utilizing his legs over the course of his entire career as a football player. He's smart about when to do it, and again, he's always really looking to throw, and find that big explosive play, but he can feel when the pocket kind of parts a little bit and he can take off and go. And that's a big weapon. That can be deflating for the defense. When you got everybody covered, you got every match, you think you got a good rush, and then all of a sudden he finds a little void there to step up and push through, and that's, that can be deflating to a defense.
How much do you wince maybe a little bit as soon as he starts to take off, and are you just hoping that you're holding your breath until he kind of hits the ground?
Yeah, I think he's really mindful of how to do it. I think the one that, he ended up taking probably the biggest hit was the unplanned, was a run where he had to pull it down. And oftentimes I think he's maybe got a split second to register what he's about to do, and that one was probably the trickiest one.
Jesse was talking about how aggressive Lou is with the cover zero at particular times, especially yesterday. What is it about your relationship with Lou that you trust him to be aggressive at the right times in big moments?
Well, that's just, we've known each other for a long time. There's a lot of trust there, a lot of open communication. We don't hesitate to be brutally honest with one another. And that's just something I've gotten comfortable with over the years with the cover zero specifically. It's a challenge when you go against it. Lou's done a great job. The players believe in it. That's the biggest thing is the 4 or 5 guys back there with their cleats in the ground, knowing what's coming at them, trusting the guys up front to get home, trusting that Lou's utilizing it in the right situation with the right disguises beyond it. And those guys believe in it. And they've done a great job, and he's not afraid to dial it up, even against some of the best quarterbacks in this league and some really talented players. And we know what a challenge it is to prepare for, and our guys do a great job utilizing it and believing in it.
You smiled when you said brutally honest. Is there an example that came to your mind?
No, nothing. No. He's just, it's you need people. You need people to tell you the truth, and vice versa. And I think that's where we're at with all of our coordinators. And that's great, and that's what's helped us evolve and be where we're at.
Zach, if I had to ask you, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when describing each one of your offensive linemen? Can we go through
The
all
first
five?
thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Start with Jonah.
Yeah, that's they like to be grouped together, and so again, I think I gave this example last night. Those guys, they love the physicality. They are really smart and understand the game, and their chemistry has really taken off. They spend a lot of time together, extra time together, and that's what you need in a line room. And that's what Frank has really pushed really hard for since he's been here. And we're getting that out of that group, and it's awesome to see.
He told us at the combine that he was really looking for glass eaters. When you guys met after the season, does he come in a meeting with you and Duke and say, I really want some glass eaters added to this roster? Or how'd that happen with how you guys set your plan for who you wanted to go out and bring in to make this offensive line what it is?
You go through every free agent that's available and who we would want, and Ted and Alex were at the top of the list, and we thought that would be a great combination if we could make it work, center and guard. LC obviously wasn't available at that point. He became available later, and he had the relationship with Frank, but we really felt like we needed those two interior pieces, and so we went and got them, and obviously hadn't met either one of those guys. It's been better than I even would have expected, and I had high expectations for those guys. Just their personalities and how they fit into what we want to do, and it's been even better than the high expectations that I had for those guys that came in the building.
On your decision to pass at the end of the game yesterday, if you run it there, you take the clock down to 1:15 or so, kick a field goal, you're by 6. How much of that decision is driven by Mahomes and his ability to possibly go down and beat you?
Yeah, that's part of the equation. The other part is just putting the game to bed. With really our mentality to start the drive was we need to score a touchdown. If the clock runs out, the clock runs out. Let's be mindful. Let's not run out of bounds. Where it makes sense, let's let the clock run, as low as we could with the clock running. But at the same time, I really wanted Burrow, because we were going to keep calling passes as it made sense, to just focus on the coverage and focus on finding completions. And so I didn't want him thinking about draining the clock to 1 on the play clock, and I wanted him focused on getting us good mileage out of the pass game and scoring a touchdown if we could. And then as the clock got lower and lower, we were able just to finish it with the kneel downs. But the mentality was let's go score a touchdown and try to finish this game off, get a 2-score lead, and finish it that way.
If the 4-minute offense works ideally, sometimes you don't even have to score the touchdown.
Right. No, that was I wanted his mindset, because I wanted the passes were on the table for him just to have that killer instinct and go score and let us manage it elsewhere. And just, again, remind those guys when they have the ball in their hands, stay in bounds. There was one Chase, fought for the first down, and so he got that, and that was critical for us. And sometimes they get caught up in the wash over there and can't get down in time, but I thought our guys did a really good job managing that.
You said yesterday you were really excited to go watch the tape of a 3rd and 11 play and figure out how that could happen. When you watched it, what did you see, and where does that rank for you on clutch, Burrow, plays by a quarterback, or really anybody?
Yeah, there's not a centimeter he could have thrown that ball any differently, the corner 23 his hand was right there, almost deflected it, but again, it was a perfect pass, and T's a big enough body there where he was able to create position there to make that catch in traffic. Again, it's a much later slant window than we normally have, but Joe really had to give it that time to clear through there, and he whipped that ball in there, and it was perfect. And again, my first instinct was it's going to be 4th and an inch here. Of course, we're going to have another 4th down decision to be made, but and then as you get a chance to see it a little closer, we saw we got the first down, which was good.
How did you mark him out of yesterday's game?
Great. I haven't talked to him today, but man, he looked great on the tape, and Troy did a good job spelling him when we could. You know, we had a couple plays we knew we could take him out, and make sure we mixed in that rest. But I thought, you know, I mean, shoot, he's hurdling over guys and moving as well as I ever remembered. So he was good.
I know you reported in the week about a snap count. Did you guys have a snap count for him?
No, it was just more mindful to just try to. I want him in there every play because every play he could get the ball. You know, just the way our offense is geared up right now, and but Troy did a great job of kind of going through the game plan and penciling some plays where it made sense to get him out, and then as the game went on, you know, I think we got a better sense of, okay, let's get him a play here. And, you know, Trenton stepped in on a play that could have gone to the X, and we were comfortable throwing him in there, and he got that ball. And so I thought we managed it as best we could.
I know you, going back to the praises for Lou, I know you had all the high praises for him, but, you know, looking at what he did against Mahomes yesterday and just dating back to last year, I mean, what does that say about just how elite he is with his, you know, play calls and his schemes that he draws up?
Yeah, he's very comfortable. He puts these players in a great position. He's very thorough with that, him and the entire defensive coaching staff. And these players believe in what they're being asked to do. And I think there's great dialogue between, you know, a lot of our veteran players and our coaches, and that feedback is critical. And there's trust from the coaches that they're getting, you know, quality feedback from players that have earned their right to do that. And so it's a lot of fun just watching all that communication take place, and seeing him dial up 0 the last 2 weeks, and the guys believing it and wanting it, and so it's just been fun to watch.
Today probably also gives Coach Duffner a chance to rest his voice. We really enjoy, I think, the peek behind the curtain in those social media videos post game. But
Yeah.
does he bring that energy all the time? Is
All
that
the time.
what he's like?
That's what he's always like. Duff, yeah, he joined Stanley with first team all energy. That's for sure. It's awesome to have that on your staff. The players appreciate that and love that. He does such a great job, you know, with those guys, and I know that every coach and every player appreciates that energy, whether it's in a team meeting, whether it's at practice. You don't hear it at practice, but it's constant at practice. My favorite is hurry up and snap it, yelling at the scout team quarterback, hurry up and snap it. I hear that a lot. We haven't even broken the huddle oftentimes, and I hear hurry up and snap it. But he's just, you know, you need that kind of – that's critical on your coaching staff to have guys. It's great to have guys that are reserved, and that's kind of how I always was. And then you got guys that bring energy all the time. And I think of Duff does a great job of that. Chuck Burks does a great job of that. You know, we got a lot of guys on staff that bring tremendous energy every single day at practice, and I know that the players really appreciate that as well.
Lou seems like he's not one of those guys. He's very even keel. I guess he gets excitable when he's angry. Have you ever seen him get excited for good reasons, or does he just keep it great?
He gets excited. Yeah, when he does a great job praising the guys, you know, when they do what they want. I want you to ask him that question also. You know, if he just gets excited when he's mad. No, he does a great job of balancing that and you know, uplifting people as well.
They say a lot of times teams mirror the personality of the head coach. Do you think this defense kind of mirrors what Lou is as a coordinator, personality-wise?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, aggressive. I mean, that's what you need from your defensive coordinator. That's what you need from your defense. And you know, Lou, again, he's got such a great relationship with those guys. There's so much respect back and forth. And he's honest with them. He's incredibly honest with them. And I know that the guys they know that that's championship level coaching, you know, when you're going to get that feedback. And he does such a great job. You're not in the meetings on Fridays when they're in there playing music and all the great messaging he's got for that group. And so, again, it's just the culture, not only in this team, but in that defensive team room is awesome. And that's a direct credit to Lou and the job that he's done with those coaches and players. And the culture in that defense, starting in the auditorium when they meet at practice, is phenomenal.